not go back to Indonesia, or was
Couldn't
this
go.
because of the Indonesians?
No, there was no traffic. There's no way to get there.
But the question that I'm trying to get to is, were you interested in maybe living in Indonesia again?
If things had gone the way I planned for my own life, I was engaged to a Dutchman who was studying law in Leiden, but also Indonesian law. Even Sukarno studied Indonesian law in Leiden, you know. So he studied of course, Dutch law, and like my father studied Dutch law and Leiden, and then he went to Indonesia as a lawyer, you know, and became a lawyer in Indonesia.
So if all would have gone to plan, according to plan,
I would have gone to Indonesia.
That was an option, right?
Yeah.
At least in theory. I mean,
we and he would be lawyer in some town anytime he chooses. Usually it's in Java because it's the most cosmopolitan and there's more culture than all kinds of Dutch culture, Hindu culture. They're one of the most lovely Hindu temples, certainly of Indonesia, is in Java, the Prambanan, and then there is the biggest Buddhist temple in the east. It's even bigger than any temple in India or China. It's in Indonesia.
But ask you.
Borobudur, it's called. De Vey Mestdagh, de Vey, V-E-Y, you know, De Vey Mestdagh, M-E-S-D-H.
Okay, why don't you say his name, because I cannot pronounce it.
Karel, which is Charles, Karel de Vey Mestdagh. His father was a famous Protestant minister in Rotterdam and The Hague.
Okay.
I dated him for a good 10 years or more. I liked him. Karel.
You knew him for 10 years?
Oh yeah.
How is that possible? You're only in Holland from 1938 to 1940.
Well, when I came to Dalsen, I met him, and I don't know, and then all the war years, until the day he left for France.
That's 6 years.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm a bit mixed up too, but I do know that he was, it was treason. It was a Dutchman that...
Okay, his father was a minister. His father was a Protestant minister.
Yeah.
And his mother was a Dutch Huguenot baroness.
His mother, yeah, and
Dalsen
is the village. I met him when my Aunt Millie lived. His mother was Ernestine de Vidal de Saint-Germain, and it's just, I wonder if Vidal is related to, because the mother had two brothers who went and immigrated to America.
So let me try to read this to you.
Yeah.
And I will just, I mean, the camera is on you, so it'll show only you, and it will hardly catch up what I'm saying. But
yeah.
Okay, here it says on the back of the picture that you kept
yeah.
in a frame. We met in 1941 in Dalfsen, Overijssel, near Zwolle.
Yeah.
We dated until the 19th January of 1944,
yeah.
my birthday, when we came engaged.
Yeah.
me his ring and a silver money jewelry with
The picture of the Queen,
of
Wilhelmina. Yeah.
Right.
A brooch was made from, a dime and a quarter, of silver.
I had some letters from him,
Yeah.
and this last postcard is from Sacré-Cœur in Paris.
Yeah.
Arrived around Easter.
Yeah.
He was. He was in May. No, I don't know what it says here. He was caught. Oh, he was caught in
Paris, yeah.
in May or June in Paris
Yeah.
by Nazis, and they call it treason. He was sent to Dachau, then to Flossenburg,
Yeah.
the death camp, where he died in June 1944. Do we have any documentation on that fact? Has his mother been notified?
Oh yes,
of
his
death?
parents, his father went there, and after the war, and I because I did ask his father if there was a grave of him, and since he said there never will be a grave of him, he said because when the Allies came closer to that Flossenburg, the Germans, it must have been in a valley or something, the Germans blew up the mountains around Flossenburg and buried all the prisoners who died in Flossenburg. Buried all. There's no proof that there was there a concentration camp or anything, because the Germans. So it must be somewhere in the mountain region of Germany.
Right, but tell me,
And
was there any? I mean, the Germans kept records of all things they did.
yeah.
So do we know for sure? Is there a document that stated?
Yeah, there must be documentation. There is documentation in Dachau that he was there, because he was sent to Dachau, according to his father, before he was sent to Flossenburg. He went from Dachau to Flossenburg. Dachau, as I understand, was like an internment camp. They gathered them all there, and then they sent them to places where they really would die. Listen to this story. Apparently, I don't know, there was obviously in Holland an organization where these young men like he who wanted to join the Princess Irene Brigade in England. They would go to the south of France, and then over the Pyrenees they would escape to England. But anyway, that's what I heard. So he got to Paris, I know that, because I had his letters and things, and he was picked up there. And according to his father, that I understand, is that there was a group waiting for him in Paris, because he had to have housing, you see. And there was a Dutchman in Paris, a Dutchman who where he went, a certain house, I guess. Anyway, there was this Dutchman, and I even remember the name the name was Van de Kastele, of this Dutchman. Van de Kastele that means castle, of the castle. That was the name of the Dutchman in Paris, Van de Kastele, who was waiting for him, and to send him was what he thought was further on to the south of France and over the Pyrenees to Spain and then to England and Portugal, who knows. But the Kastele didn't do that. The Kastele apparently just delivered him to the Germans. And so the Germans would pay him so much ahead, you see, or the French police, I don't know. But he just picked them up and then delivered them to the Germans. So he was a traitor. He was doing it and he was making money from it. Do you understand what I mean? So it was a man, a Dutchman, a traitor in Paris, awaiting him, and when he came and knocked on the door or wherever he went. Van de Kastelen was there and simply delivered him to the Germans, who of course threw him in some prison and sent him to Dachau. He was sent from France, as I understand, to wherever he was sent, from Paris to Dachau.
Right. So let me know.
And that happened more than you think.
Right. Now, even more.
He was like, that man was like the Dutch Quisling police. He was a traitor and making money. I have lots of stories today. Making money on his own people, you see.
Yeah.